What it is, YouTube? It's your boy DSER coming back with another bullseye of a video today on the channel. We're going to be showing how to get Glorilla style vocals and talking about the Memphis sound. So if y'all like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. You want to get more information? Well, join the channel membership. Also, check out our vocal presets, check out the mastering presets, check out whatever the hell you want. But we about to get to these gems right now, these tips on how to get that dope Glorilla type of sound. So let's play the vocal right here today. So I had my friend do a scratch vocal for me. I had to pitch it and I had to like cut some stuff up. So yeah, it's still a pretty good workable vocal that we're gonna learn today with.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players, my folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round.
All right, so let's see what it sounds like with and without that preset.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players, my folks don't keep it solid.
All right, so it's kind of like that same style of Glorilla vocal where Glorilla has like a low type of voice that got some impact to it. All right, it kind of reminds me of Black Air Force Ones because there's this street energy to it. All right, so most importantly thing is that SSLG channel strip. Once you mix in a vocal, you always got to think about it like a costume party. Okay, what type of is this casual costume? Is like formal, casual? What's the type of event? Is it church clothes or whatever? Halloween party. So birthday party, you know what I mean? So that kind of changes the attire, the way you want to dress things up. So with the vocal, I picked the SSLG channel strip because I know it's going to bring that street energy, that little bit of that aggressiveness. So that's why we use that because it gives a little bit of that dirtiness to the vocal that Glorilla kind of has that, you feel me, that oomph to the vocals.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players, my folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started. Locked in.
All right, so after that we have a DSER, and the DSER we want to make sure that we're not over DSing, maybe like tapping it, tickling it like a newborn baby, only about 1 to 2 dB, just tickling it ever so slightly because we want to keep the clarity of the vocal.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players, my folks don't keep it solid.
So be very gentle and delicate with the DSER because if you start doing, more and more, it's going to start to lose a little bit of that high end and that clarity that you want, okay? So after that, we have the C4 preset, and I use the high clean. It pretty much just goes in there and starts to take out more of the nasty, harsh frequencies. It's almost kind of like putting Photoshop on the vocal. So there's some nasty blemishes and stuff like that. We're going to get rid of it by going in there and zapping it.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players, my folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started.
All right, so after that, I use a Kramer tape to bring in a little bit more of the artifacts and everything like that, because with the flux mode, it's going to add more dirt. So it's like a garden. I'm starting to throw more soil onto the plant, which I want to grow, which is the vocal. So that's what the flux is pretty much dirt. And then the tape saturation overall is going to smooth out the vocal, okay? It's going to smooth out the top of the vocal, all right? And that's really important with Glorilla too, because her vocals are very upfront, but you want them to be upfront but still emotionally approachable. Like if the vocals sound upfront, but then they are like harsh and you hear all these spitting nasty frequencies, it's gonna make the vocal almost kind of like you don't want to hear it. It's like somebody who's complaining in your ear, like I don't want to hear that shit. All right. So that's why I use the Kramer tape to kind of smoothen things out.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players, my folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck, got M&M's in my garage. With the crank up on the hoe, you beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players, my folks don't keep it solid.
All right, after that, I have the REQ, and we just went in there and took out a little bit of that low stuff that the tape will add. So the tape brings in a tape bump, which kind of adds more of body to it. But then we want to kind of like burn off a little bit of the belly fat on the vocal. So that's why I just did this notch right here to clean things up.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players. My folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players.
So just that little EQ move, it starts to feel like an alarm clock that's kind of waking up the vocal, because now we hear a little bit more of the mid-range, we hear a little bit more clarity, so it's just kind of like an alarm clock. BB is waking up the vocal pretty much. Then we use the fresh air as well, which is almost kind of like the sprinkles to the ice cream, giving that last bit of sweetness on top of the vocal that we kind of got sounding the way we want it to now.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players. My folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started.
So that fresh air is adding saturation, pretty much, and it's just brightening things up. Okay, it's giving us that last bit of the chef's kiss on the vocal before we put the dish on the plate, pretty much. Then I have this L2 limiter right here. I'm just using it for the tone. I know with Memphis vocals, it has like this aggressive type of tone to it, and I just like how this L2 feels like cayenne pepper, where just a little bit of it adds some spice to the vocal to get it to just tickle just a little bit, just to hit a little bit harder.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players. My folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters.
So just a little bit, and you see we only tickling it about a dB or two, and it just keeps the vocal under control too, but it does add a little bit of that cayenne pepper. You feel me? That's giving it a little bit of that seasoning. I use the quarter note, but that's the thing about Memphis vocals though, is that you never will hear like delay and reverb in Memphis. That's a part of Glorilla sound, is the dry, like SpongeBob, I need water. It's that dry sound. When the sound is drier, it feels more dense and more solid, helping it just feel more like something in the song. So that's the most important thing. The delay, yeah, there's delay, but it's like super low, and the reverb is a super short reverb that's super low, so you can't even hardly hear it.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players. My folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round working hard.
So everything is blent in so low that you can like hardly hear it, and that's the point. That's how Memphis vocals are. They're very dry, The more reverb you add to something, usually the softer it will get, like a pillow. You fluff the pillow up more, it will get softer. All right. Then we have a doubler. Nothing special about a doubler. But then we have the RVOX, which is giving us presence.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and players. My folks don't keep it solid. Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe. You beat your bed like get me started. Locked in with the gangsters and
It just gives that last push of presence. And the last thing we have here is the Adlibs real quick. We just made some Adlibs, very simple. We did not chop off the high end. I noticed that Glorilla has Adlibs that you can truly hear, so we pushed them just a little bit. We did not do a regular radio effect. We just thinned them out a little bit so they could sit back.
Mine, every round working hard. Maybach and G-Wagon truck got M&M's in my garage. Sweet the crank up on the hoe.
And then we added a little bit of L2 limiter again to just give some control to it. So hard, like all the Adlibs can't go too far. They all stay relatively balanced. Then you have the Kramer tape, and I threw that on 7.5 to degrade the sound, giving it a little bit more texture, and another little short reverb. Even the Adlibs on Memphis Music, the reverb is like very, very low, You don't really hear too much reverb, and that's a part of the aesthetic, Very dry vocals is something that you should pay attention to with your favorite artists. Do they got really wet vocals? Do they have really dry vocals? You know, are the vocals spicy? I always imagine it to be like a buffet of food. Like every single song is just a platter of flavor and shit like that. And I'm just trying to figure out what you know how when you taste like a food and you're trying to figure out what ingredients they put the shit in. It's literally the same exact thing with music. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Join the channel and check out our really dope courses. We got more better information there if you join the channel membership. Don't forget to check the links down below. Support the channel. Suggest some more artists I should do down below. Appreciate y'all now, YouTube gang. Peace.